Okay. All right. Hi, Erica. How are you
Hi, Erin.
today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. So, what's bringing you in this week? I know we haven't, I think the last time I saw you was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, so how are things going?
Not bad, the normal, keeping busy. Winter's coming. I'm not a fan of that, but
I'm not either.
yeah, but I'm doing okay. I mean, I've had a kind of a trying week with my 15-year-old son.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know, I decided I should keep my appointment this week, and maybe you could give me some insight on a situation that happened with him. And, as a mom, you feel Mama Bear wants to come out, and so I thought maybe I could talk to you about it, if that's all right.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
So what has happened?
So, my son is 15, he's a sophomore,
Okay.
and he plays baseball.
Okay.
And he has a little girlfriend, which is his first time really having a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this boy in his grade
Mm-hmm.
who, his father is the baseball coach
Okay.
and has been, my son, who is Corbin, he has been Corbin's baseball coach since they were 10, so the last 5 years. And this boy, Peyton, he's not very kind to Corbin, he's very competitive, I should say,
Okay.
with grades, with everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a little history, Peyton's dad has always been his baseball coach, and that, you just deal with it because, not that he gets favoritism, but Peyton does no wrong, and everybody knows it. So, and that's normal, every sport you're gonna have somebody like that, and you're gonna have daddy ball.
Okay.
But, this goes beyond, this is more of Peyton has personally attacked my son.
Oh, okay.
To make him look bad. And I'm bothered by this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So Corbin's girlfriend, I brought her up. So she was over fall break a couple weekends ago now. She was at a religious camp retreat.
Okay.
And this Peyton was there. Now, Peyton liked this girl a year ago, or even actually a couple of years.
Corbin's
Girlfriend, yes.
Okay.
Which is I know it's so dumb to talk about,
No,
but
not
it
at all.
is.
I mean, this is
I
your
feel, I feel like it's so weird because they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And I try not to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be a good mother. I'm trying to raise my kid in a Christian home and, teach them, both my children, to be good, kind human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But at this Christian retreat, Mara, who is the girl, she overheard this boy Peyton saying bad things about my son.
Okay.
And she recorded it.
Oh, okay.
And then she sent it to my son. And so, number one, I'm like, give me the recording, I want to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that first mama bear instinct, I wanted to send that to his mom and dad, who think he does no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a feeling like over the last year, I'm going to back up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last year, I feel like the baseball coach, who is Coach Folk, I will refer to him as Coach Folk by name, he changed over about the last year or two how he treated Corbin.
Okay.
I feel like it goes to Peyton, who is their son, who says things at home probably about Corbin.
Okay.
I don't know what Corbin does when he's at school. I know how we are trying to raise him and teach him to be good, kind human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm not there, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I ask him. He always says he's just stays away from Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do anything negatively or positively really towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Peyton's mannerisms and the way he treats him.
Okay.
Like for instance, in math last year, their math teacher, last year they took honors geometry as freshmen.
Okay.
Peyton was in that class with them. Their math teacher would announce how many A's, so let's say 5 people got A's.
Mm-hmm.
he would announce who got A's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So Peyton would yell across the room, Corbin, what did you get? What did you get? Like, he's so competitive with Corbin. Like, Corbin is a threat to him or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Corbin's like, an A, you just heard. He just said I got an A. But he wanted to know if his A was higher than Corbin's A.
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of jealousy there. And to know my son, he's not like that at all. He is so low-key, even keel, level-headed. Like, you don't get that from Corbin.
So how does Corbin feel about all this? Like, has he expressed, like, when you, let's just back up and go back to the video.
The recording?
Yeah, the recording that the girlfriend took.
Corbin said, he goes, you know what, Mom? I didn't even listen to it all. It's stupid. Peyton needs to get over himself.
Okay. So he
But
just kind of...
He tried to blow it off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what bothers me the most, he's a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't tell you everything and how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, so that happened on a Friday night, okay? All day Saturday, Corbin was droopy.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, what is wrong with him? Like, I felt like something was bothering him. I know my son, and I knew he was not his same personality.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were spending the night with my parents that night, and they were going up that afternoon. I kept thinking he didn't want to go to Grandma and Grandpa's.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I was like, you don't have to go to your grandparents if you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's not it at all. I want to go see Grandma and Grandpa. So I just kept thinking, then driving up to see them is when he told me about this recording.
Okay.
So I know he was bothered by it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Part of me, okay, so the recording was on something called Snapchat. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but if you have a teenager, you are.
Yes.
So it was on Snapchat. So it was gone. So he couldn't send it to me.
Okay.
And he's like, why do you want it anyways? I want it because I want to hear that kid talking about my kid. I want to hear what he said. I feel his parents need to know what he's saying about my child. Because I think he goes home and he talks bad about my kid. What is that called? Like, he's a chameleon almost. Like, he's at home he's one way, but when he's out, he's saying bad things about somebody else.
Okay, so let me just back up here when you talk about how you want the parents to know. Let's just put you into a scenario. If you were to go to the parents of this Peyton, what do you think the outcome would be? If you were
I don't know. We'd probably never speak to each other again.
Okay. I mean,
and he's Corbin's baseball coach, so I don't know.
Okay. So,
but they think he's so perfect. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Corbin has, like I said, Coach Folk, the father, has not treated Corbin so well over the last course of a year and a half. I personally feel like Peyton talks bad about Corbin out of a jealousy thing, in a way. Because Peyton likes Corbin's girlfriend.
Yeah. And I know, and one thing you had mentioned is teenagers. I think that's the key word. When you have teenagers, there's a lot of drama that comes into play.
And my husband calls this Peyton, calls him a teenage girl. He's like, you know what? He's just a teenage girl. Just drop it.
Okay. And when your husband says that to you, what do you think?
I agree that he acts like a teenage girl.
But when he says to drop it?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to drop it. Like, I just want my kid to be okay. And I guess I need to just, if Corbin says he's okay and he's over it, then I need to just, move on.
Yeah. And I'm sensing a lot of frustration and just a lot of resentment and anger. So Erica, if you say that you want to try to let it go, what are some things that you feel like you can do? Because you made that comment.
Meditate. I don't know. Sorry. Seriously though, I think probably. Well, I will tell you, I have been praying about this since it happened. I've been praying for my child. I've been praying for him to have peace with this. Number one. But I've been praying about it on how I can handle it, or I've been praying on how to just let it go.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
almost give me just peace with it.
Mhm.
That's what I need. I'm not there yet. That's
Okay.
why then, of course, I decided to come see you this week, because I feel like you always give me such good advice that maybe, I know praying is the number one thing. I always take it to Jesus. But I need something else.
So, and it's interesting when you talk about the fact that you're praying. Maybe one thing that you can do when we leave here. Have you ever looked up on the internet? There's daily devotions.
Yes.
Okay.
So I get a daily devotion.
Okay.
Daily, obviously, to my phone. But I wonder, maybe, do you mean maybe there's more one for like your children, like how to guidance for teenagers or something like that?
Yes,
Maybe.
yes.
That's actually a good
I
idea.
think that might be a good thing
Yeah.
for you to do. So I'm thinking when you leave here, maybe what you can do is you can look it up and see if there's something that you find. And maybe what you can do is even just write it down and then just take a moment to reflect on it and do that for probably the next week or two.
Okay.
And then when we meet again, then we can talk about it,
Right.
and you can tell me if it's
How I'm
something that
feeling.
you think it's helped you. Because I feel like just from hearing you talk that you're on the right path, that you sense, that you're frustrated, you're trying to resolve the situation, and you're trying to make it better for Corbin.
Right.
But, you obviously are harboring a lot of these
Just
ill
anger,
feelings.
kind of.
Yes,
And I don't
yeah.
like that. I don't like to feel that way. And ironically, Friday night, my husband and I went to dinner with Corbin and our daughter, and then some friends, and ran into Coach Folk and his wife.
Okay.
And they were nice as can be. And they have an older daughter who is a senior in high school, and she's just delightful, okay? She wasn't with them. They weren't with their kids. But this is horrible, but I asked about Jordan. I didn't even say one word about Peyton. But you know what? And Corbin, he walked by them and he shook Coach Folk's hand and he talked to him, and Corbin was like, doesn't let it bother him.
Okay.
I need to be more like him, honestly. But I guess the reason I'm telling you that is when push came to shove, I guess, I was fine when I saw the parents.
Okay. Okay.
But
That's a good
I didn't bring
sign.
up their kid.
But in a way, you telling me this that is a good sign,
Yeah.
because you're starting to let it go.
Right.
You obviously saw them at the restaurant. Sometimes you don't know how you're going to react in situations.
Right.
And it sounds to me like you handled that situation better than what you anticipated.
Right.
So,
I did. I was actually proud of myself that I was able. Now, if Peyton would have been with them at dinner, I don't know how I would have handled myself. So, and Peyton, now he's like reaching out and texting Corbin and hugged him at school this week. It's like, hey, I haven't seen much of you lately. He knows that Corbin knows, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the best thing, that Peyton actually knows what he did was wrong.
Yeah. It sounds that way.
Yeah.
Well, let's plan for you to go ahead
Okay.
and look up some of these.
I will. That's a good
devotions
idea.
And reflect on
Okay.
them. And then maybe when we meet again, you can bring in the ones that you wrote
Yeah.
down, and we can just kind of go through that and see
Great.
how you feel at that point.
Sure will. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks
Thanks.
for coming in, Erica.
Thank you.